Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to the final game of day number 1 in the 2018 NCAA Mideast Baseball Tournament. It's the number 2 seed Otterbein University Cardinals taking on the host site team. It's the number 7 seed Adrian College Bulldogs. Robbie Alexander joined by my colleague, color commentator, and twin brother Cody Alexander, and we've seen 3 great games so far. We're about to see one under the lights. We'll see if it can take the cake as far as excitement. And Cody, what have you seen so far, and do you think that's going to translate into tonight's game?
Well, so far all I've seen is some good baseball, and the team that makes the least amount of mistakes on the field obviously is the one that has gone on to the winner's bracket, and I expect to see the same today. Otterbein and Adrian, almost identical offensive numbers. So it'll come down to whose horse is the best on the bump today. Going for Otterbein is their horse, number 28 left-handed pitcher Stevie Uran.
Digging into the right-hander's batter's box is the Bulldog center fielder Zach Schering. We are set to start game number 4. First pitch as a fastball outside, 1-0 on Schering.
Uran has 11 appearances on the year, 9 starts, a 3-3 record, in 62 innings pitched. He has 61 strikeouts, has issued 32 base on balls, and has a 2.47 ERA.
We located that fastball on the inside part of the plate. It's 1-1 now on Zach Schering. Another fastball, this one above the letters, 2-1 now.
Schering a solid .352 average on the year so far, has pushed across 16 runs and scored 49 himself.
And Schering hits it right back to Uran. Flip on to first, out number 1. A little bit of a Christmas present there for Stevie Uran and the Cardinals. They'll bring up the left fielder for Adrian College. It's number 10, Gunnar Rainey. First pitch from Uran. Strike at the knees, 0-1.
Rainey was an first-team All-MIAA selection. Started off slow on the season, but picked it up, a .327 average on the year.
He hits a chopper over to third base. Brett has it. Routine for the Cardinals, and Otterbein now has 2 outs in the top of the first.
Can already feel the energy here. Adrian, the host team, finally getting their chance to play in front of the home crowd. A little bit of a different vantage point. They have the 7 seed playing the 2 seed Otterbein, so they find themselves on the first base side of the diamond.
Brady Wood showing bunt, will take a fastball for strike 1. He was the hero of the MIAA championship game. Go-ahead double in the 8th inning against the Hope Flying Dutchman. Make it 3-2. That score would stay the same, and Wood gets it past the diving Brett at third base, and he's aboard with a 2-out single.
Well, that's 3 straight ground balls. That one just happens to sneak through the hole on the left side. But so far, Stevie Uran doing a nice job of keeping that ball down by the knees of the Bulldog hitters.
So up now with 2 outs, it's the heavy-hitting first baseman Hunter Hayes. The MIAA Outstanding Position Player of the Year, looking to keep this 2-out rally going, and he hits a high foul ball over towards the back 40 practice fields on the right side.
Hayes brings a .362 average into play today, .644 slugging. He has driven in an MIAA high 55 runs on the year, as also 17 two-baggers to his name, 4 triples, and 8 round trippers.
He's in the hole now, 0-2 against Uran. Here's the pitch. The ball high, 1-2. Well, lining up defensively for the Cardinals. Feltner throwing down the signs behind the dish. Barber at first, Stotler at second, Brett at third, Beachy at shortstop. And in the outfield, left to right, it's Thompson, Snyder, and Stopper.
A nice block there by Feltner. Breaking ball in the turf, keeps it in front of him. The lefty on the mound, and Uran Wood fairly close to the bag at first, only about 2.5 steps.
The 2-2 pitch from Uran. Wood off for second base, and Hayes will foul it off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wind continuing to change directions here this afternoon. Currently blowing in at a pretty steady pace from right field. The 2-2. This one right into the net. No flinches on our end. As we go through the tournament, you'll probably hear us refer to that list a lot. We have the flinch list. It's an actual thing, and so far Cody and Patrick are in the lead. I, however, am not, as Hayes grounds that one to third base. Brett has it on the hop. Long throw. They will get him at first base. Bulldogs get a man on with 2 outs, but leave him there. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning. Still scoreless. Keep it tuned right here to Game 4 of the NCAA Regional Tournament here on ACTV. Welcome back to Game 4 of the 2018 NCAA Mideast Regional Tournament. Adrian College versus Otterbein University. Scoreless here in the bottom of the first. And on the mound for the Adrian College Bulldogs, it's their ace, the master carpenter, Tommy Parsons, who just so happens to be the MIAA Pitcher of the Year for the 3rd consecutive year. Leading off for Otterbein is the shortstop, Ben Beachy. First pitch from Parsons. Line to the shortstop, diving play by Jordan Torreno, and a flashy out number 1 for the Bulldogs. That'll bring up the left fielder, Tyler Thompson. 1 pitch, 1 out for Parsons. Fastball hits that outer black. No balls and 1 strike.
Well, Parsons has been the top dog on the mound for Adrian for the past 3 years, and for good reason. With a 39-4 career record, he is the winningest active pitcher across all 3 divisions in the NCAA, and his dominance has continued throughout his senior year. 11 starts on the year, a 10-0 record, also has a save that came in the title game of the MIAA tournament. 9 complete games in 85 innings of work. He has 103 strikeouts to only 5 walks. That's a 10.91 strikeout per 9 rate, and he has a minuscule 1.48 ERA. So he's going to look and try to prove why he is one of the top pitchers in all of college baseball.
Not to mention he earned his first career save in the MIAA championship game. Came on in the 9th inning, threw straight gas to get the victory.
We've had the pleasure of watching Parsons throughout our college career. The last 4 years we came in as freshmen with Parsons. He features 3 very good pitches, a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup. And when all 3 are working, it's tough on the opposing hitters.
Tyler Thompson, even in the count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Parsons. And he gets him with that changeup for strike 3. Tossed him the chair. They're now 2 down. So that will bring up the number 3 hitter for Otterbein. It's the right fielder, Brian Stopar.
Stopar hitting .312 coming into today's contest, has driven in 40 runs and scored 36 himself. So has 14 doubles, 2 triples, and 9 round trippers.
They'll look to get a 2-out rally started here against the Bulldogs. It's the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball down the third base line and fair. That's going to head to the corner. As Stopar hits the bag, headed for second. Throw from Rainey. And under the tag, 2-out double for Brian Stopar.
Stopar just gets around that pitch and yanks it down the line. Rainey, a great arm out in left field, but Stopar with the speed able to sneak his hand in there ahead of the throw.
So with 2 outs, that will bring up the first baseman, Luke Barber. Man in scoring position for him. Well, the Adrian College defensive alignment goes like this. Frankie Resto throwing down the signs behind home plate. Hunter Hayes at first. Brady Wood at second. Junior Dugan Darnell holds the bag at third. Jordan Torreno, we saw him with a flashy play already. He's at shortstop. And in the outfield left to right, it's Gunnar Rainey, Zach Schering, and Tristan Richardson. Pickoff move to second. Stopar is safe. The Cardinals are going to have to be careful out on the base paths as Parsons has picked off quite a few people in his career, and it seems like we see at least 1 or 2 every game.
He should be worrying about the hitter at the plate, though. That's Luke Barber. Leads the team with a .383 average, has driven in 37 runs, currently looking for his 38th.
That fastball misses on the outer part of the plate. 1-0 on Barber.
Big hole over there on the right side with second baseman Wood shading towards the second base bag.
Bulldog infield playing deep with 2 outs. Pitch from Parsons. There's a pop-up right side of the infield, but that's going to fall foul. Now the lights are on here at Nicolay Field in Game 1 between Shenandoah and Marietta. A foul ball actually broke one of the stadium lights. They replaced that right before this game. So we should have shining lights throughout this contest. 1-1 on Luke Barber. Each team with 1 hit apiece. Here's the offering. Another foul ball, this one back towards the parking lot. It's now 1-2.
That's 2 fastballs that Barber's fouled straight back. Let's see if Parsons wants to take the chance of speeding his bat up. Maybe try that changeup down and away, see if that fading can get him to swing over top of it.
1-2 is the count. Parsons takes his time. The pitch outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now should Barber keep the inning alive, that'd bring up the third baseman, Connor Brett. Generous crowd out on the center field hill. It's Adrian coming out full-fledged to support the home team, at least when it comes to location. Ground ball over to shortstop. Torreno with a running throw, and Hayes, the nice stretch over at first base for out number 3. Both teams showing why they're in the regional tournament. We head to the top of the second inning, still scoreless. And we'll be back with more Game 4 action here on ACTV. Stevie Uran out for his second inning of work. Still scoreless here in game number 4 between Otterbein and Adrian. And it's 5, 6, 7 due up for the Bulldogs, starting with the third baseman, Dugan Darnell.
Darnell hitting .376 on the year with 6 doubles, has driven in 18 runs and scored 20 himself.
First pitch from Uran. A fastball in at the thighs. It's 0-1. Now watches that one in the turf. 1 ball and 1 strike. Another fastball. This one at the shins. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, the Cardinals beat Marietta in the semifinal game of the OAC tournament. Of course, Marietta also in this region. They lost to Shenandoah earlier this morning for losing to the championship game to Baldwin Wallace, who is in a separate region. So Otterbein has had a tough schedule this year as Darnell right back up the box, leadoff single.
Yeah, Otterbein went into the OAC tourney with the #1 seed, but ran into the hot hand of Baldwin Wallace. They lost 22-8 in the second game of that tournament, and then came back in the title game, lost 15-6. So they received one of the 16 at-large bids in these tournaments.
Very deserving of it as Uran throws that one. It goes all the way to the backstop, and the Bulldogs have a man in scoring position. Darnell will move up on the pitch. Now batting for Adrian College, it's the designated hitter, senior Brian Guck, getting his first nod of the season, at least since the spring trip. The 1-0, fastball high, 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, Guck has 6 hits in 29 at-bats on the year, but he has proven to be clutch. Last year against St. Thomas in the regional, he ended up having a go-ahead triple in the first game of that tournament.
2-0 from Uran. He swings through that as he takes a little off. 2 balls and 1 strike. Working that third base side of the rubber. The 2-1. Fouls that one into the netting. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Nobody's going to admit to flinching on that one.
I flinched internally, I will say that. But internally, I flinched. But that does not count in the flinch game. It all has to be external as Guck goes fishing, but no bass in the pond. There's 1 Bulldog down. I'll bring up the right fielder, Tristan Richardson. Normally number 16, but sporting 21 after a uniform malfunction. A couple jerseys went missing last week. First pitch from Uran. Fastball at the knees, 0-1, and he's pounding the strike zone early.
Everything low in the zone. Even the 2 hits for the Bulldogs today have been ground balls, both of them finding holes into the outfield.
The 0-1 hangs high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Richardson comes into this contest with a .287 batting average, 24 RBI, 22 runs scored, 13 doubles, and 1 triple. Fouls that one off the post.
Still no flinches up in the box, but there is a bee's nest up above us, so every time there's a foul ball, get just a little bit nervous. One and 2 on Tristan Richardson. Pitch from Stevie Uran. There's a fly ball towering into center field. Snyder camped under it. He will make the catch. Darnell will have to hold at second, and there are now 2 outs. A quick mound visit between Feltner and Uran. Might have been a little bit of miscommunication there as Richardson just missed that one. But with 2 outs now, that will bring up the catcher, Frankie Resto. First pitch from Uran. Starts him with a breaking ball, 0-1.
Resto hitting .306 on the season. 22 RBI, 19 runs scored. It's also 10 sacrifice bunts to his name as the Adrian all-time leader in sacrifice bunts.
Uran throws that one in the turf. Nice block by Feltner, though. Darnell holds that second.
That's 3 or 4 so far that we've seen Feltman go down and block today. He had 1 get by earlier. That's how Darnell ended up on second, but besides that has been pretty much a brick wall.
The 1-1. Swings through that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, should Resto keep the inning alive, that would bring up the number 9 hitter, shortstop Jordan Torrento. One-two pitch from Uran. Fastball, and Resto holds off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2. With curveball. That's back up the box for a base hit. Darnell's going to hit the bag at third and head home. The throw from Snyder cut off. And the Bulldogs have an early 1-0 lead.
2-2 breaking ball by Uran. Didn't get it down enough. Resto stays back and just drives it right back up the box. What he does best. Doesn't try to do too much. And with Darnell's speed at second and 2 outs, he scored easily.
So that'll bring up the shortstop for Adrian College, Jordan Torrento, man on first with 2 outs. And the first pitch from Uran is in there for strike 1. Well, as we've seen today, runs something of a premium. Uran fires another strike at the knees, 0-2. The 0-2. Just a bit outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Torrento.
Torrento had that nice diving catch to start the bottom half of the first inning. .36 walks on the year for a .496 on base percentage. He's also driven in 21 runs and scored 34.
He works the count back even. The 2-2 from Uran. And a big cut there as he dusts him off for strike 3 and out number 3, but not before the Bulldogs score the first run of the game. We head to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Adrian College. And we'll see how Otterbein responds. We'll be right back with NCAA Regional Baseball here on ACTV. Bottom of the second inning now here at Nicolay Field. 1-0 Adrian College lead. And it's 5, 6, 7 due up for the Cardinals, starting with the third baseman, Connor Brett. Schering takes his position out in center field. We are set to start the bottom half of the inning. Parsons gave up a 2-out double to Brian Stopar. We'll leave him stranded out there. And Cardinals' first inning, much like the Bulldogs, they'll see if they can replicate the Bulldogs' second inning and score a run here.
Well, Brett hitting .329 on the season. He has 8 home runs and 13 doubles to supplement his .621 slugging percentage. Also has driven in 44 runs and scored 32 himself.
0-2 now on Brett. Here's the pitch from Parsons. Fastball high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fouled back towards the press conference tent. Count stays the same, 1-2.
Well, as we have mentioned several times, Adrian is the host for this 2018 Mideast Regional. The first time since they have hosted since 2009. That was the first time they hosted. They went 2-2 in that tournament.
And a fly ball out deep, but right into the glove of Gunnar Rainey for out number 1. They'll bring up the catcher, Justin Feltner, with 1 out. And Nicolay Field, an all-turf field from the infield to the outfield, and new this year, an all-turf fiberglass pitching mound. So if you thought it looked weird on camera, that's because it is. And when you're up close, it looks a little bit weirder.
It's actually a 4-piece fiberglass mound. Costs around $11,000, but last year at the regional, Bulldog pitchers fell in love with it, and that's because they have a consistent landing spot. They never have to fix any holes.
A ground ball over to the shortstop, but Torreno, routine play to retire Feltner. 2 down now. The one thing, though, is that pitchers are not allowed to wear cleats on the mound. Has to be turf shoes or tennis shoes. We saw in the MIAA final, Bulldog pitcher Jordan Williams accidentally wore his cleats on there, got 1 out. Coach Rainey noticed what was up and quickly called him off the mound to change his shoes. Up to bat now for Otterbein is the center fielder, Tim Snyder, looking to start a 2-out rally here. First pitch from Parsons. Fastball outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Snyder hitting .311 on the year so far. Has driven in 23 runs and scored 32.
There's a hard hit ball into right field, but right to Richardson, who makes a few steps in to grab it. 1-2-3 inning for the Bulldogs. And we'll head to the top of the third with a 1-0 Adrian College lead. It's the number 2 versus number 7 seeds. We'll see how it plays out right here on ACTV. Top of the order due up for the Bulldogs to start inning number 3, 1-0 lead. It's the center fielder, Zach Schering, set to lead things off against Stevie Uran. 0 for 1 so far, grounded out right back to Uran to start the game. He'll take a first pitch strike. Another fastball. This one misses low and inside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Hits the black with that fastball, and it's 1-2 now on Schering. Uran only a couple mistakes so far, but other than that, matching Parsons pitch for pitch. The 1-2. And gets him swinging through that curveball as he dusts off Schering for out number 1.
Well, there is a little bit of a tie between Uran out on the mound and his counterpart, Tommy Parsons. The Otterbein Cardinals pitching coach, 29-year-old John LaCourte, is a 2011 graduate of Otterbein. He was a 2-time All-OAC pitcher himself and now runs a successful performance training company. That one is out of play and foul, but ironically enough, LaCourte has actually worked with Tommy Parsons for the past 3 years.
Really?
Yes, sir.
You found some good facts for this tournament.
I did not find that fact, actually. That is provided by the Otterbein Sports Information Director, but it is pretty, I guess, yeah, exactly how I said it, or ironic.
We'll see who the better pitching product is, as there's a ground ball off the bat of Gunnar Rainey to the shortstop, Beachy. He'll throw on to first for out number 2. So up now is the second baseman, Brady Wood. Singled his first time up, would later be stranded the very next at-bat. As Hunter Hayes would ground out to end the inning. First pitch from Uran. Takes a little off right there, but it's still a strike, 0-1. There's a ground ball again to Beachy, again routine. The Bulldogs go 1-2-3 this time around as we head to the bottom of the third. Adrian holds on to a 1-0 lead. And we'll be right back with more NCAA regional baseball here on ACTV. Beers, Stotler, and Beachy due up for the Otterbein University Cardinals. They'll trail by 1 heading into the bottom of inning number 3. As Bulldogs ace Tommy Parsons gets back to work. First pitch to Pat Beer. It's a big swing at that one. Fouls it back towards US 223 for strike 1. The 0-1. Fastball outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now where Uran is going through his pitch sequence pretty quickly, not taking much time on the mound. Tommy Parsons, on the other hand, really likes to control the tempo and slow things down. Another big swing there by Beer, and it's 1-2.
You wouldn't call it a slow tempo, but it's definitely methodical, I think is the best way to phrase it.
I would agree with that. The 1-2 pitch to Pat Beer. Just below the knees, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, the Cardinals and the Bulldogs have faced each other 4 times previously, and the Cardinals hold a 4-0 advantage, including a 4-0 victory back in March of 2016.
He goes fishing on that one. Parsons tosses his second chair of the game. The leadoff man is set down on strikes. So I'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Mitch Stotler, second baseman for the Cardinals. Here's the first offering from Tommy Parsons. First pitch, fastball, 0-1.
Stotler hitting .330 on the year. A .474 slugging percentage, a .409 on base percentage. He's scored 20 runs, driven in 20 runs.
Almost every single Otterbein hitter has an average north of 300. Not something you see very often.
As a team, they are batting .313 coming into this game. So another very good offensive team in this Mideast Regional.
1-2 is the count on Mitch Stotler. Otterbein with 1 hit through the first 3 innings so far. 1-2 to Stotler. In the turf, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball just above the letters, says home plate umpire David Kernan. The count is now full, 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch from Parsons. Fouls that one back and stays alive.
Mitch's brother Adam is also a part of this Otterbein baseball program. He serves as the backup catcher to the starter of tonight's game, Feltner.
Resto can't squeeze that foul ball. Count remains 3-2. We saw a set of twins on the Ithaca team. Always good to see a pair of brothers play the game they love. The 3-2 from Parsons. Pop up on the infield. Darnell calling for it. He will haul it in for out number 2. We head back to the top of the Cardinals lineup. It's the shortstop Ben Beachy who lined out to Torreno his first time up. On a nifty diving play. First pitch. That one bounces in the turf for ball 1.
Well, Beachy was a first-team All-OAC selection. Had 2 home runs previously coming into this season, hit 9 during the 2018 campaign. So a bit of a power surgence.
He's currently up in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch from Parsons. Chopper down the third base side, but foul.
The junior shortstop out of Springboro, Ohio.
The 2-1. Big curveball, but just misses. It's 3 balls and 1 strike on Ben Beachy. Pitch from Parsons. There's a line drive into left field. Rainey's going to let it fall in front of him. That's a 2-out single for Ben Beachy.
That's 2 hard-hit balls now off the bat of Beachy against Parsons. As Robbie said, first one found its way into the diving glove of Torreno. That one hit hard enough into left field with enough sinking action to where Rainey had to pull up and field it on a hop.
So with 2 outs now, that will bring up the left fielder Tyler Thompson. Struck out his first time up. There's a bunt down the first base side, trying to surprise him. And Hayes will let it roll foul. Close to being fair, as there was not much room left, but Bulldogs catch a break there. It's 0-1.
For a second, it looked like Parsons was going to pick it up and tag Thompson. But eventually just let it roll. Bit of a risky play there on the part of the Otterbein left fielder. 2 outs. And Hayes playing in front of the bag as he's holding Beachy on at first.
Pitch from Parsons, ground ball. That's going to make its way through the right side hole for a base hit. Beachy hits the bag at second, will slow up and almost backpick him on the throw from Richardson, but manages to get the hand in. And Otterbein now has runners on first and second with something cooking. 2 outs on the board.
Yeah, Beachy about 5 steps past the bag at second before he put the brakes on. Took a little bit of a slip there, but able to sneak his hand back in.
2 straight singles given up by Parsons. That's 3 hits now for Otterbein. That's their 3-hitter, Brian Stopar, up to bat. Doubled his first time up. That Otterbein dugout has come alive. First pitch from Parsons. A curveball blocked by Resto. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Stopar, a second team All OAC selection. He's looking to knot things up at 1 apiece.
Beachy on second base, Tyler Thompson on first. Parsons gets his sign from Resto. The pitch. Ground ball foul, 1-1. Should Stopar keep the inning alive, that would bring up the first baseman, Luke Barber, lurking on the on-deck paw. The 1-1. At the knees, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Stopar.
One has late downward movement, starts it off about middle of the thigh and away. And by the time it gets to Resto's glove, he's picking it off the turf.
Runners will be off on the swing. 1-2. Ground ball up the middle. Torreno shades and will step on second for the final out of the inning. Otterbein puts 2 on with 2 out, but can't bring them in, and the Bulldogs take that 1-0 lead into the top of the 4th inning. Don't you touch that clicker, because we'll be right back with more NCAA baseball here on ACTV. Four, 5, 6 due up for Adrian College. 1-0 lead. First baseman Hunter Hayes takes a strike to start his at-bat. Pitch from Iran. Hayes gets a piece of it. Quickly down in the count now. 0-2. Grounded out to the third baseman his first time up. The 0-2 pitch. Slaps that one into right field. But Stopar runs in to make the first out of the inning. So they'll bring up the third baseman, Dugan Darnell. Singled his first time up. He'll come around to score the lone run of the ball game so far on the RBI single by Frankie Resto. First pitch at the shins, 1 ball, no strikes. Fouls that one off towards the Adrian dugout. It's 1-1. There's another hard hit ball. This one into center field. Snyder will range towards his left, right for out number 2.
Directions are hard sometimes.
As long as I remember to flip them in my head, I'll get it out right, but sometimes I forget to flip it in my head. Nonetheless, 2 outs on the Bulldogs. Now I'll bring up the designated hitter, Brian Guck. Struck out his first time up. Pitch from Iran. Pounds a fastball, belt high, 0-1.
Like you said, Robbie, both pitchers matching each other pitch for pitch. Both have surrendered 3 hits on the game through 3 innings.
And Guck's going to put that one in the left center gap for a base hit, maybe even more. He hits the bag at first, headed to second. The throw in, not in time. 2-out double for Brian Guck.
Guck just sat on that curveball. Started it off about belt high, didn't have the late downward movement like his other ones did. Middle of the plate, and he just punches that one into the gap. Kind of ruins what I was saying about pitch to pitch, but through 3 innings, they both had given up 3 hits.
There's another hard hit ball. This one to right field for a base hit. Guck hits the bag at third, headed home. The throw from Stopar, not in time. Adrian College 2-0 lead here in the 4th on the RBI single by Tristan Richardson.
Great base running there by Guck. Head down the whole way. And watching him from up here in the booth, you knew he was going to score one way or the other. And just 2 pitches that Uran has left over the heart of the plate in this inning. Through 3, I'm afraid to say it again. Something else might happen. Should I try?
I think you should hold it in. Well, Uran, not a lot of mistakes as you were saying, but the Bulldogs capitalizing on the ones that he has had. Another fastball. This one hits the inner black, and it's 1-1 on Frankie Resto, who has an RBI single so far.
Well, before these two hits here in the top of the first, Uran had 47 pitches, 32 of those strikes. Parsons had 48 pitches and one more strike than he.
And a nice place, diving stop by Stotler. But Richardson's gonna beat the flip. The Bulldogs now have 2 on with 2 outs. Uran has to work out of the mini jam now. The shortstop Jordan Torreno up to bat, struck out his first time up. First pitch. It's a curveball in there, a strike on the outside, 0-1. Six hits now for the Bulldogs, 2 runs. The 0-1 from Uran. In the turf, that's going to get away from the catcher Feltner, and both runners are going to move up. 2 men in scoring position now with 2 outs.
And Feltman just comes up on that ball, thinking it was going to have a higher hop, but with this turf here at Nicolay Field, balls in the dirt usually tend to scoot, so that one looks like it just snuck through the 5-hole. So another tough break. Feltman had been as good as a brick wall basically back there, like we said earlier, but that one gets by him, and now runners on second and third for the Bulldogs.
That breaking ball misses outside. Count now 2-1 on Torreno. Pitch from Uran. He fouls that one off on the third base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Coach Rainey wants more runs. We'll see if Torreno can give them to him. The 2-2. Fastball high, 3-2. Uran trying to work out of trouble with 2 outs. Payoff pitch to Torreno. There's a line drive through the right side hole, a base hit. One's going to come in. Resto will hold at third. The Bulldogs' lead keeps growing, now 3-0.
That one just past the glove of Stotler. Torreno hits it hard enough to where Resto had to hold at third, so a little bit of a break there for Otterbein. But these Bulldog hitters just look like they have timed up Uran out there on the mound. 4 hits so far in this inning.
Still 2 outs, runners on the corners. We're back to the top of the Bulldog lineup. It's center fielder Zach Schering, who's 0 for 2 so far, a ground out and a strikeout. He takes a first pitch grounded to the shortstop. Beachy will flip on to second for out number 3. But not before Adrian College tacks on 2 more and keeps their lead growing 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. And we'll be back with more NCAA Mideast Regional Baseball here on ACTV. You heard public address announcer Dave Van Giesen right there. First baseman Luke Barber set to lead things off in the bottom of the fourth, and Otterbein has some work to do. Gave up 2 in the top of the inning, now trail 3-0. Parsons retakes his position on the mound. First pitch. Big cut there by Barber. It's 0-1. Parsons took a little off that. Looks like he threw him a first pitch changeup. The 0-1. Another swing there. Tried to hold up, but he now falls in a hole. No balls in. 2 strikes on Barber.
It's 2 breaking balls down and away to Barber to start the at-bat. 0-2 now. Let's see if he tries to go up and in with a fastball or if they want to go back to the soft stuff.
We'll see right here. The pitch from Parsons. Fastball away. That one's hit into right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Richardson cuts it off, but it's a leadoff single for Luke Barber.
Parsons might have sped up his bat there, goes back down and away. And Barber, after seeing that spot twice in a row, just rips it into right field.
4th hit of the day for Otterbein. We'll have to start getting to Parsons pitch by pitch, hit by hit. So it's the third baseman, Connor Brett, up now. Flew out to left field his first time up. First pitch. Fastball misses outside, 1-0.
Excuse me. Go ahead, Robbie.
I was just going to say a beautiful sunset starting to fall over Nicolay Field. 75 degrees temperature at the first pitch, so really a picture-perfect day for day 1 of the tournament. There's a hard hit ball through the left side hole. Another hit for Otterbein. Number 5 on the day, and now 2 on and 2 out. That was off the bat of Connor Brett. And up now is the catcher, Justin Feltner, with nobody out. Once again, that Cardinal dugout coming alive.
Well, the Bulldogs scored their 2 runs last inning after getting the first 2 batters out. Otterbein in a much better position here to capitalize as they have runners on first and second with no outs.
Parsons will have to work out of a jam. Really favoring that first base side of the rubber, only about half a foot on it. The first pitch, a bunt popped up on the third base side. It's going to fall, and Darnell can't handle it. Everybody's going to be safe. Otterbein, bases loaded with nobody out.
Tough break there for the Bulldogs. Usually a bunt in the air results in an out. Parsons' weight falling towards the first base side. He wasn't able to get there. Darnell looks like he was going to make the play, possibly getting the out at first. He glanced over to third base where nobody was covering, and that's essentially when he bobbled the baseball.
The official ruling on that will be E5, first error of the day for either side. And Otterbein, a good opportunity to tie this game up or at least carve into that lead. Bases loaded, nobody out. And it's the center fielder, Tim Snyder, up to bat. Flew out to Tristan Richardson in right field his first time up. First pitch from Parsons, fouled to the right side, 0-1. Darnell playing even with the bag. Hayes playing behind the runner. Nothing special about the defensive alignment in the outfield. 0-1 pitch from Parsons. That one slapped into right field, and it's going to fall in and out of the glove of Richardson. 2 runs are going to score. It's a 2 RBI single for Tim Snyder. They cut the lead to 1, now 3-2.
Well, a nice effort out there in right field by Richardson. In and out of the glove, like Robbie said. But Otterbein finally figuring out Parsons. He's really attacking that outside part of the plate. That's 3 hits now that we've seen this inning where they go the other way, which is what they're going to have to do to get to the Bulldogs' ace.
Still nobody out. It's the designated hitter, Pat Beer, up to bat. Struck out his first time up. Darnell now playing a few steps in. Hayes still behind the runner at first base. First pitch from Parsons shows a bunt down the third base line. Darnell has it, throwing to first for out number 1. But Beer does his job. 2 runners in scoring position now with 1 out. They'll bring up the number 9 hitter, second baseman Mitch Stotler. Popped out to the third baseman his first time up. Feltner on third base, Snyder on second. First pitch from Parsons. Fastball high, 1-0. Parsons, a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction. We'll have to tuck the jersey in. Second time we've seen that in the tournament. As earlier, third baseman had to take his belt completely off. We won't name names, but it was not something you expected to see here at the Nick. The 1-0 pitch. High fly ball into shallow center field. Sharing giving chase. Torreno will call him off and make the catch. Runners will hold. And there are now 2 outs on Otterbein. Top of the order now, and it's the shortstop Ben Beachy up to bat. 1 for 2 so far, lined out his first time up, singled his last time up. Both times a hard hit ball. And if he does that again right here and finds the right spot, Otterbein will probably have the lead.
Well, Beachy was recently named the OAC Player of the Year, becoming the 3rd Cardinal ever to receive the honor. He actually ranks 3rd nationally with 22 doubles, which set a program single-season record. And a double here would almost certainly give the Cardinals the lead.
Not only a double, but you got to imagine even a single with 2 outs. Runner's going to be taking off. First pitch from Parsons. Fastball outside, and Resto not able to hang on to it. Looks like he got crossed up there. 1 ball and no strikes on Ben Beachy. The 1-0. Bender in there for strike 1. Should he keep the inning alive, that'd bring up the left fielder Tyler Thompson. The 1-1. It's a hard hit ball into the right center gap. Sharing giving chase. He will make a nice running catch for out number 3. Otterbein scores 2 runs to pull within 1. 3-2 Adrian College lead as we head to the top of the 5th inning. And so far a nail-biting high-tension game. We'll continue to see how this unfolds when we come back on ACTV. Top of the 5th inning, 3-2 Adrian College lead. Both teams score 2 in the 4th. Leading off for the Bulldogs, it's the left fielder Gunnar Rainey, who's 0 for 2 so far with 2 groundouts. Duran back out for another inning of work. First pitch, fastball high, 1-0. There's a ground ball past the diving Barber and into right field for a base hit. Rainey hits the bag, big turn. But he will hold at first with a leadoff single. I'll bring up the second baseman, Brady Wood. 1 for 2 so far, a single and a ground out. 8th hit of the day for Adrian. Duran with a pickoff move to first. Rainey back in plenty of time. Fastball high, back pick. Rainey's going to be back under the tag.
Well, the Bulldogs are not a huge base stealing team, only 46 as a squad. Gunnar Rainey has accounted for 4 of those, so we'll see if he wants to run or if he just wants his teammates to hit him in.
Wood fouls that one back towards the Frank and Shirley Dick hitting facility. It's 1 ball and 1 strike as Feltner wants to have a quick chat with Stevie Uran.
Well, Feltner and his counterpart in the outfield, I guess not a counterpart, but a teammate, Tyler Thompson, were recently named Academic All-District selections and will now advance to the Academic All-America ballot. And if they are able to secure that title, that would make 5 straight seasons with an Otterbein player being selected as an Academic All-American.
You got to get it done in the classroom as well as on the field. Good job for them to represent their conference and their team.
And a good job by Robbie saving my notes there. Gust of wind came into the press box, thought my paper was going to blow it on the field, but Robbie with the quick hands. Maybe you should be out there on the field.
Oh no, I played in high school and I proved that I was not good enough to be on a college field as that fastball hangs high. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Brady Wood. The slow pitch softball fields are where I hang out now. 2-1 pitch from Uran. That one just misses outside. 3 balls and 1 strike on Wood. Stevie Uran now at 68 pitches through 5 innings. The 3-1. That one manages to hit the inside corner. Wood bent out of the way a little bit. But the count runs full, 3-2.
Well, Wood having a terrific sophomore campaign leads the Bulldogs with a .414 batting average.
He hits a hard one into the left center field gap, and it's going to hang up just long enough. Nice sliding catch by Thompson in left field. And Rainey will retreat to first base, 1 out now.
It's another line drive hit to the outfield that off the bat I thought it was going to be extra bases. In the bottom half of the 4th inning, we saw Beachy try to split the right center gap. Schering ran it down. This time, the left fielder for Otterbein, Thompson, ran that line drive down. So a lot of range being shown off in the outfield for both squads.
Quick mound visit for the Otterbein Cardinals. Now, every other team in the tournament, we've seen a mound visit by the 3rd inning. This one in the 5th. So what do you think they're talking about out there?
I mean, 3-2 game. You've got 1 out. You've got a runner on first base, probably just telling him to get back to what he was doing early in the game. That was doing a nice job of keeping the ball down around the knees and just look for a grounder that can give you a quick 2 outs and put your bats back at the plate.
Well, he'll have to deal with the heavy-hitting first baseman, Hunter Hayes. She takes a first pitch strike. Hayes 0 for 2 so far today, a ground out and a fly out to right field. 0-1 pitch from Uran. In there at the knees again. Hayes quickly in a hole, 0-2. The offering. Just a smidge outside, says the home plate umpire, David Kernan. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes now. The 1-2. Fouls off that high. Cheddar still 1-2. Gunnerani's still over at first base. 5-step lead. The 1-2 pitch in the turf. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch from Uran. It's a high pop-up shallow right field. Stopar and Stotler running in towards foul territory. Bermuda Triangle. That's going to find its way out of the ballpark, but Luke Barber absolutely demolished the fence.
It was a heck of an effort by Barber. Glad to see he's okay. Like you said, Robbie, he hit that fence hard.
Well, no warning track here at Nicolay Field at any part of the ballpark. And that fence also comes in on a hurry, so I don't think that Barber realized he was getting so close. Luckily, that was a forgiving fence down there, like you said. 2-2 pitch to Hayes. He rings him up looking on the inner part of the plate. 2 down now.
Hayes disagrees with that call, but catches the black. And Uran does a nice job going back to what he did earlier in the game. All those pitches, with the exception of maybe 2, Robbie, found their way down by the knees, and Hayes just couldn't do anything with it.
4th strikeout of the night for Uran, and that will bring up the third baseman, Dugan Darnell, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a flyout. Much like Ben Beachy, 2 hard-hit balls so far tonight. It's the 1-0 offering. Holds his swing up. 2 balls and no strikes now on Darnell. Fastball hangs just a bit high. Darnell now up in the count. 3 balls and no strikes with 2 outs. Should he keep the inning alive, that'd bring up the designated hitter, Brian Guck. That one across at the bottom of the zone, 3-1.
This offering by Uran will be his 85th of the game.
3-1. Ball high and he loses him. Bulldogs now men on first and second with 2 outs. And up to the plate, it's the designated hitter, Brian Guck. Doubled his last time up, would later come around to score a run. He's 1 for 2 on the day.
That walk, the first base on balls issued for Uran on the night.
First pitch to Guck, he swings through that one. It's 0-1. Gunnar Rainey on second base. Dugan Darnell on first. Pitch from Uran. Another big cut there by Guck. It's 0-2.
Two pitches in the inner part of the plate. With the little belt high, but Guck having trouble keeping his front shoulder in there. Big swings on both of those pitches.
0-2. Ball high. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Some action warming up in the Cardinal bullpen now.
It's number 34. Trying to read the hands of SID Director Patrick Stewart. That's number 34. Jared Murphy. Guck goes down on strike, so the Bulldogs' threat is over. We head to the bottom of the 5th. 3-2, Adrian leads still. We'll see if Otterbein can tie it and maybe even take the lead when we come back here on ACTV. Two, three, four, due up for Otterbein to start the bottom of the 5th inning. If you're just joining us, Robbie Alexander with my colleague Cody Alexander. 3-2 Adrian lead. It's been a high-tension game. Adrian scored 1 in the 2nd inning, 2 in the 4th. Otterbein would answer with 2 of their own to make it 3-2. And that's where we stand. A first pitch strike to the left fielder Tyler Thompson from Tommy Parsons. Both pitchers pounding the strike zone, but both starting lineups taking advantage of mistakes today. Thompson quickly in a hole now, 0-2. Pitch from Parsons. He rolls over on that one. Charging play by Torreno. Thompson's going to be safe. He beat that throw by a couple steps. Infield single to start the inning.
Nice job by Torreno getting over there, but deep in the hole. Just unable to get the throw off in time.
Tying run now on base, and that will bring up the number 3 hitter, Brian Stopar. Doubled his first time up, grounded into a fielder's choice to end the inning his last time up. That was back in the 3rd. Still a good crowd here at Nicolay Field. A lot of people out on that center field hill. Prime piece of real estate out there. And both sides of the stands are packed. Also all along those first and third base side.
The home team, Adrian, with a good crowd, but Otterbein also with a good showing of support.
We've seen all 8 teams have a good road crowd today so far, and a lot of them have been sticking around to watch these games as well.
It'll be an exciting weekend of baseball.
1-1 is the count on Brian Stopar. Here's the pitch. He gets him fooled with that off speed. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. And time is finally called. Didn't want to say anything right there. Sometimes you just got to let the tension boil over. And like we said, Parsons very methodical, very deliberate on the mound, and he will take these batters' patience to the limits.
And sometimes as a pitcher, your plan is to stay set until the batter finally gets sick of you and calls time.
And he tosses him the chair right there. Second out of the inning. First out of the inning. Had the scoreboard wrong. Now bring up the first baseman, Luke Barber.
Third strikeout of the day for Parsons.
Barber 1 for 2 with a single, a run scored so far. Actually scored the first Otterbein run of the ball game. A pickoff move to first, close, but back in time is Thompson. First pitch from Parsons, fastball drilled into left field. Rainey to the track, to the wall, and that ball is gone. 2-run blast by Luke Barber, and Otterbein suddenly finds themselves in top. 4-3 here in the 5th.
It's the first pitch to Barber, middle, and he was all over that, no doubt about it.
Still only 1 out in the inning. Now bring up the third baseman, Connor Brett. 1 for 2, a flyout and a single. Has also scored a run. The wind has been sucked out of the Bulldogs' sails. They now have to buckle down and try to stifle the lineup.
First home run that we've seen in this Mideast Regional. And it comes in a big spot.
5th inning is where we've seen the tide turn, usually in favor of the Bulldogs, but in this case Otterbein, as there is a sky-high pop-up on the infield. Wood will catch it just shy of the outfield turf for out number 2.
And if there are young baseball players here, and if they watched Brett, that is the way you should run out of pop-up. He was halfway to second by the time that Wood secured it. So if that would have dropped, he would have pulled in with a double. A lot of young kids pop up a ball and they kind of put their head down and they jog over to first. The right way to do it is put your head down and try to take as many bases as you can before the fielder secures it, in case it happens to fall in.
1-0 count on the catcher, Justin Feltner. Watch a fastball fall in there for a strike, 1-1. Seven hits so far for Otterbein. And Bender just out of the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two-one pitch from Tommy Parsons. That one fouled into the netting and onto the tin roof. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 to Feltner. Holds up on that pitch in the turf. Appeal to the first place umpire, Corey Ray, says the same. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
The senior Feltner actually sat his first 3 years behind former All-OAC standout Stephen Hernan. He finally got his chance to start this spring, and as you can see by his stats, certainly made the most of his opportunity.
He sends that one towards foul territory. Hayes to the fence, but it's going to find its way into the Otterbein crowd. Still 3-2 on Justin Feltner.
Feltner, a second-team All-OAC pick. So sticking around for those 3 years and putting his work in and doing the workouts has certainly paid off.
Time is called at home plate. Both Feltner and Parsons will reset. The payoff pitch from Parsons falls outside, and a rare walk issued. When I mean rare. Number 6 on the season. Otterbein has a base runner with 2 outs. Center fielder Tim Snyder trying to keep this rally going. 1 for 2 so far. Flew out his first time up, but had that RBI single back in the 4th. First pitch from Parsons. Falls outside the strike zone. It's 1-0. Another one falls outside the strike zone. 2 balls in, no strikes now on Snyder.
Well, Otterbein has made 12 appearances in the regional tournament, have never been able to advance past that. Their best finish was in 2006 when they lost in the regional final to Marietta by a score of 8-7.
Another fastball outside the zone, 3-0. And Resto will call time as Parsons visibly flustered out on the mound.
Well, we kind of talked about it in between innings, Robbie, with Parsons on the mound that first time up in the first inning. He looked a little more amped up than usual, so not sure if the big game jitters are affecting his pitch control. But Otterbein has certainly cracked the Parsons code, putting up 4, which is a lot more than his opponents have put up throughout his career.
More surprising than that, 8 hits against him. Finally finds the strike zone right there. 3 balls and 1 strike. Should they keep the inning alive, that'd bring up the designated hitter, Pat Beer. 3-1 pitch. And it's outside. 2 walks in a row issued by Tommy Parsons. And Otterbein continues to put people on base. 2 on now with 2 outs.
No mound visit by Coach Rainey. So it's up to Parsons now to bear down and get this last out in the 5th.
Bulldogs have a force at first, second, or third. Pat Beer steps up to the plate. First pitch. Fouls that one straight back into the padding. It's 0-1. 0 for 1 so far today. A strikeout, also has a sacrifice bunt his last time up. He'll hit a ground ball over to the third baseman, Dugan Darnell. He'll throw on to first. And he throws it away from Hayes. That's going to bring in 1 run, maybe even 2, but Snyder will hold up at third base. Otterbein takes a 5-3 lead on the second error of the night by the Bulldogs.
Well, unfortunately, that has been a common theme for this young Bulldogs team this year. Came in with 73 errors on the year, much more than they've made in the previous 3 to 4 seasons. And that ground ball to Darnell should have been routine. He did the footwork, just unable to finish the throw, and pulls Hayes up the line.
And Coach Rainey will now come and have a talk with his pitcher and infield. 5-3 Cardinal lead, still 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Otterbein has scored 2 runs in the 4th, now 3 in the 5th. And the Bulldogs trying to escape with no more giving up.
Parsons' pitch count now up to 86 on the night.
First pitch to Stotler, in there for strike 1.
A big at-bat here for Parsons. With 2 outs, you don't want to put Stotler on. That'll send you back to the top of the lineup with Beachy, who hit a hard line drive into center field that looked like extra bases off the bat, but Schering was able to run down.
Fastball from Parsons misses outside. 1-1 now on Mitch Stotler, who's 0 for 2 tonight with 2 pop-outs. There's the 1-1 offering. Fastball again in the strike zone, 1-2. The Bulldogs a strike away from escaping the inning. The 1-2 in the turf, blocked by Resto. Runners will hold. Count now falls even at 2 apiece. Snyder at third base. Pat Beer stands on second. The 3-2. High pop up in foul territory. That's going to find its way out of play. Still no glass shattered. It's a very good sign. Count remains 2-2. The 2-2. Another foul ball, and Mitch Stotler putting up a battle here.
These last 2 innings, Cardinal hitters just putting up great at-bats, fouling off tough pitches, making Parsons come at them with the fastball or a breaking ball in the strike zone. They knew that they were going to get a lot of strikes. Parsons only 5 walks coming into today, so they have been up there in attack mode. They have put up 5 in the last 2 innings.
Pitch number 87 from Tommy Parsons is a ground ball over to Wood. He'll get on a couple skips and throw on to first to end the inning, but not before Otterbein takes the lead, aided by a huge 2-run home run by Luke Barber. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning with Otterbein holding a 2-run lead, 5-3. We'll see how Adrian College responds. Keep it tuned right here to ACTV. You heard it from the public address announcer, Dave Van Giesen. 7-8-9 due up for the Bulldogs as they have some work to do now. Down by 2 heading into the top of the 6th. So it's a 5-3 Otterbein lead. Pitch from Uran. In the turf, 1-1 on the right fielder, Tristan Richardson. 1 for 2 on the day with a flyout and an RBI single. He would later come around to score. That was back in the 4th inning. And that strike finds the outer black. 1-2 now. The 1-2. Hard ground ball, but fielded easily by Stotler, and there's out number 1. So up now is the catcher, Frankie Resto. 1 for 2 RBI single his first time up. Later hit into a fielder's choice back in the 4th. And that's where he stands tonight. Strike on the outer half of the plate, 0-1. Ball high, 1-1. Pitch from Uran. Fastball hangs high. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Resto. Another fastball, this time in the zone. Resto doesn't agree, nor does the rest of the Bulldog dugout. Nonetheless, the count 2-2 now. The pitch from Uran. Fouled back towards the back 40, 2-2 still.
This will be the 100th pitch for Uran.
Ball high. Resto works the count full, 3-2 now. The payoff pitch hangs high, and Resto draws the 1-out walk. 3rd time on base tonight. I'll bring up the shortstop, Jordan Torreno. 1 for 2 with an RBI single tonight. Uran again working from the stretch. First pitch to Torreno, another fastball high. Suddenly having trouble finding the strike zone, and Feltner out to have a word with his pitcher.
Well, this is Adrian's 12th regional appearance. They have made it through to the World Series once. That was back in 2008, where they finished 4th in the nation.
That fastball from Iran finds the strike zone. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Adrian has also made the regional tournament 10 of the past 11 seasons, with the exception of 2016.
Another fastball at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And 2016 lost to Alma College in the MIAA tournament, and really was a stunning upset. Kalamazoo would later go on to represent the MIAA. Torreno fouls that one back into the netting. Didn't see any flinches over to my left.
You didn't have a flinch to your right either.
Well, I would hope not. That foul ball was pretty far away from you there, Bubs.
I'm just making sure you know.
The 1-2 to Torreno. Curveball hangs high, 2-2 now. Resto, short lead over at first base. Pitch from Uran. Gets him looking. So he fires a fastball right at Torreno's knees for out number 2. And that was the 5th strikeout of the night for Uran. So now back to the top of the Adrian College lineup. It's the center fielder, Zach Schering. Reached on a fielder's choices last time up. And watch a strike hit the outer black, 0-1.
Well, the Otterbein pitching staff this year actually set the program record for staff strikeouts with 346 entering this game. Uran led the staff with 61.
Schering hits a line drive right back up the middle. 2-out single puts Bulldogs on first and second. So that'll bring up the left fielder, Gunnar Rainey, who's 1 for 3, 2 groundouts, singled his last time up. That was to lead off the 5th inning. Here's the offering from Uran. In the turf, nice block by Feltner. It's 1-0. There's a hard drive into the left center gap. Thompson will range towards center field to haul it in and end the Bulldogs' threat. Score stays the same, 5-3 Otterbein. And the Cardinals will look to tack on a couple more as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Keep it tuned right here for more NCAA Mideast Regional Baseball on ACTV. Tommy Parsons and the Bulldogs looking to shake off that bad juju they experienced in the last inning when they gave up 3 runs, including a big 2-run home run by Luke Barber that gave the Cardinals a 5-3 lead. Now in the bottom of the 6th inning, top of the lineup due up, starting with the shortstop Ben Beachy. And a first pitch fastball in there for a strike. Beachy 1 for 3 tonight with a single, but also has 2 lineouts and has absolutely scorched the ball all 3 times he stepped into the batter's box.
His last time up, tried to split that right center gap, but a great play by Sharing out in center, able to run it down.
Parsons has him badly fooled on that curveball. It's 0-2 now. Pitch from Parsons. And has him fishing right there, but all he comes up with is another tossed chair. Number 4 on the night for Parsons, and there's 1 down. So up now is the left fielder, Tyler Thompson. 2 singles so far. An infield single his last time up. He'd later come around to score on the home run. Parsons looking to get back to business. It's another first pitch fastball, but this one's low. It's 1-0. Cardinals putting together patient at-bats in this game. Just waiting for Parsons to make mistakes. So far have stuck to their game plan. One ball in, 1 strike on Thompson. The pitch from Parsons. Hits that one to the shortstop Torreno running in, but he can't handle it on the transfer. Tries to get rid of it anyways. But Thompson is aboard with 1 out.
Well, Torreno playing deep at shortstop, tries to make the running play. And that is one that we've seen him, Robbie, have trouble with all year. Does not have above average arm strength and just unable to get the transfer down.
Will be marked an error. Number 3 on the day for the Bulldogs. Stepping into the batter's box is the right fielder, Brian Stopar. Pickoff move to first, with Thompson back in time. Stopar doubled his first time up. Since then, a fielder's choice struck out his last time. And the first pitch from Tommy Parsons at the knees for strike 1. Continuing to pound first pitch heaters. The 0-1. Another curveball. This one misses below the zone. It's 1 ball and 1 strike now on Stopar.
Parsons now over the century mark. 101 pitches on the evening.
Another pickoff move to first. Thompson back in time again. Still a soft breeze here at Nicolay Field as day has crept in tonight. Still a warm evening here. 1-1 pitch. Just misses. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Parsons still controlling the tempo of this game. Deliberate and methodical, as Cody said earlier. Off for second goes Thompson, but it's fouled out of play. Count even now, 2-2. Bulldogs scored 1 run in the second, 2 runs back in the 4th inning. Otterbein would answer with 2 runs of their own in the bottom half, scored 3 in the last. And that's where we sit now, 5-3 Cardinal lead. The 2-2 in the turf, blocked by Resto. Thompson holds that first. It's now 3-2 on Stopar. Another pickoff move to first, close, but Thompson again back in time.
We saw that the last time Thompson was on first base, dancing back and forth trying to get Parsons' attention. We'll see if he wants to go here with the full count, 1 out.
The payoff pitch. Ground ball in the hole. Torreno ranges. Long throw. Hayes with a nice pick on the opposite end. There are now 2 down as Thompson moves up to second base. Torreno making up for that last error.
Yeah, another tough play in the hole. This time gets the throw there, the little more mustard. Like you said, Hayes with the nice pick over on the other end.
So with 2 down, the Bulldogs will have to be careful. It's the first baseman, Luke Barber, up to bat. Hit that 2-run home run to left field his last time up. Also has singled, scored 2 runs tonight. His line is 2 for 3. Parsons starts him off speed, 0-1. No look to second base, but Thompson will get the bag easily. No attempt made.
Well, we'll see if Parsons wants to keep going off speed with Barber. He served up an 0-2 pitch into right field. That was a fastball down and away after seeing 2 curveballs. His last at bat, he hit a middle fastball out for that 2-run homer.
Now in the turf. Thompson off for third. Throw from Resto. Not in time. Thompson takes advantage of that pitch in the turf. Potential 6th run, 90 feet away now.
That was just a great read by Thompson on second base. That ball didn't get more than a foot out in front of Resto, but he saw it all the way and used his speed to motor into third.
1-1 is the count on Luke Barber. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 6. The pitch from Parsons falls outside the strike zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. There's a ground ball over to Torreno, charging in. Another running throw, but makes it easily this time. The Cardinals strand a man on third base, can't bring him in. And we'll head to the top of the 7th inning, still 5-3 Otterbein. Don't you swipe away from this YouTube channel, because we'll be back with more NCAA regional baseball here on ACTV. Part of the Bulldog order set to start the 7th inning off. Second baseman Brady Wood strides up to the plate. New pitcher for the Otterbein Cardinals as Stevie Uran's day is done. It's number 34, Jared Murphy.
Murphy's made 11 appearances on the year so far in 22 innings pitched. He has 12 strikeouts to 6 walks and a 2.86 ERA. Also owns a 2-0 record and looking to hold these Bulldogs to 3 runs.
Yes, if you're just joining us, Robbie Alexander joined by my colleague Cody Alexander. Otterbein holding on to a 5-3 lead as the Bulldogs struck early, but Otterbein continued to chip away. 2 runs in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, aided by a 2-run home run by the first baseman Luke Barber. And the Bulldogs have been trying to play catch up ever since. 1-1 now on Brady Wood. Here's the pitch from Murphy as he sends that one into center field, but it's going to hold up. Snyder ranges a couple steps back. Will make the catch for out number 1. So up now is the first baseman, Hunter Hayes. 0 for 3 tonight, ground out, fly out, struck out looking his last time up. First pitch from Jared Murphy, fooled on that off speed, 0-1. Another one in the dirt. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Hayes holds his swing, strike nonetheless, disapproving look. He's in the hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch from Murphy in the turf, even at 2. Two to Hayes. Rolls that one foul. Not much of an attempt by the third base coach, Klotz. But his playing days are over, so you can't blame him down there.
He's got to save those hands for hitting fungos.
Quite the Adrian College Bulldog player in his day. The 2-2 from Murphy outside. Hayes works the count full, 3-2. That one just outside, ball 4. Hayes is aboard with the 1-out walk. First time on tonight, and that will bring up the third baseman, Dugan Darnell. 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a flyout. Has scored run. That was back in the 2nd inning. Pickoff move by Murphy. Crowd out on the center field hill starting to dwindle, but still holding strong at the same time. We've got at least 20 people out there. First pitch to Darnell, low and outside for ball 1. Another pickoff move. Hayes still safe at first. Takes a little off that one. Not quite sure where it missed, but it's 2-0. Another ball outside, 3-0.
Well, Murphy went 0-2 on Hayes through 4 straight balls. Now he's got Darnell 3-0. So has temporarily lost the strike zone.
He finds it right there. 3 balls and 1 strike. The 3-1 turns into 3-2 as Murphy regains his sense of the zone. And he rings him up on the outside black. Dugan thought he had ball 4, but instead there's now 2 down with the man on first.
Just a great pitch there by Murphy. They're going 3-0, 2 tough fastballs down in the zone. That one catches the outside part of the plate. And he now has 2 outs on the Bulldogs.
Now up is the designated hitter, Brian Guck, who watches a first pitch strike go by. Guck, 1 for 3 tonight, 2 strikeouts, but in the middle, he has a double and a run scored. Was back in the 4th inning. That one misses at the shins. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch from Murphy. Outside, 2-1.
Guck, one of the few hitters tonight to split the gap. See if he can do it again.
He said he's fooled badly by that off speed. Lets out a groan of disapproval. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hayes still situated at first base. Ball in the turf.
Nice backhanded stop there by Feltner.
Three and 2 on Guck. Payoff pitch from Murphy. Outside, ball 4. Guck draws the 2-out walk. Runners on first and second with 2 outs.
We'll get a mound visit here from head coach Powell in his 19th season with Otterbein. We'll see if he wants to stay with Murphy or go to the pen. He's got 2 arms warming up down there, and he's going to go to his pen.
A lefty specialist coming out of the mound. We'll let this mystery man get a few warm-up pitches in, find out who he is, where he's from, and what he's about. But we'll take this time to mention that ACTV, by students, for students, everything you're seeing from the commentary to the graphics to the scoreboard, all run by Adrian College students. So if you have any comments, if you like what you see, if you don't like what you see, let us know, and we'll try to fix that. We're always looking to improve, always looking to learn, and we appreciate any feedback that helps us continue to grow through the process. And again, thank you for tuning in to ACTV. We'll be right back with NCAA Regional Baseball right here on ACTV. Number 43, Jake Walters, now pitching for Otterbein. 2 on, 2 out for the Bulldogs. 5-3 Cardinals lead. Coach Rainey about to have a quick word. Looks like he's going to get a pinch runner for Brian Guck. That's going to be number 2, Jason Croce. So now Hunter Hayes at second base, Croce at first base. Tristan Richardson up to bat. He's 1 for 3 tonight with a fly out, an RBI single, and a run scored. Grounded out to second base his last time up. First pitch. Low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, Walters has 6 strikeouts and 1 walk in 7 2/3 innings of work.
He finds the strike zone right there. 1-1 now on Tristan Richardson. And just to get a piece of that one, the count will still fall to 1-2. Bulldogs, 1 run scored in the second inning, 2 in the fourth. Otterbein would answer with 2 of their own in the fourth, and they would take the lead with 3 runs in the fifth. And that's where we have sat ever since. 5-3 Cardinal lead. One, 2 from Walters, and gets him window shopping right there. Bulldogs leave them stranded, and we'll head into the 7th inning stretch with a 5-3 Otterbein lead. So we're gonna get our stretch on in the press box, and we hope you do too at home. Refresh your beverage. It's getting late, so maybe some dessert, some ice cream, maybe you have some cake floating around the kitchen. But most importantly, make sure you stretch, because we are, and we'll be right back with more NCAA baseball on ACTV. Welcome back to Game 4 of the NCAA Mideast Regionals. We finished stretching up here in the press box. We hope you did it at home as well. Maybe got a bowl of cookies and cream and are ready and able to finish watching this game. 5-3 Otterbein lead as Tommy Parsons gets ready for his 7th inning of work. First pitch, a foul ball into the netting. And stone faces throughout the press row. Still no flinches.
Is that what our nickname is up here in the press box now?
Why not? Why not? Another curveball. That one falls in. And it is 0-2 now. The third baseman, Connor Brett. The pitch from Parsons. Another curveball, but he hangs off. Peeled down to first base, but umpire Corey Ray says he did indeed. 1-2 now. The 1-2. Gets some swinging through that one. Another chair tossed for Parsons. Number 5 on the night. There's now 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning. I'll bring up the catcher, Justin Feltner. 0 for 2 so far tonight. A ground out, reached on an error and walked his last time up. Scored that 5th Cardinal run. He's up in the count now. 1 ball and no strikes. (1-0) pitch. That one finds the outer black. 1 ball and 1 strike now. That one bounces a good 2 feet in front of the plate. It's 2-1. Parsons up to 113 pitches. He hits a pop-up on the infield, foul territory. Resto chasing and will make the catch up against the backstop. 2 down now on the Cardinals. So I'll bring up the number 7 hitter. It's the center fielder, Tim Snyder. Fly out RBI single and a walk so far tonight. First pitch from Tommy Parsons. That one fouled right into the netting in front of us. Linderwall holds strong, no flinches still.
It's probably as close to a flinch as I could get without flinching. That one headed right at my face.
I actually felt pretty good on that one. Probably because it was headed at your face, not mine. Snyder shows bunt, can't pull back in time, and he is now down in the count 0-2. Pitch from Parsons. That one sent into center field, sharing a few steps in. And we'll haul it in. 1-2-3 inning for the Bulldogs. Just what they needed as we head to the top of the 8th. Still down 2 runs, 5-3 Otterbein lead. You think the Bulldogs can come back? We'll find out next on ACTV. Otterbein looking to send a statement right here. They bring in their closer, Colin Moneyman Hoffman, trying to get the 6-out save here against Adrian College. Top of the 8th inning, they hold on to a 5-3 lead. It's the 8-9-1 order due up for the Bulldogs, starting with the catcher Frankie Resto.
Well, Adrian certainly has their work cut out for them. The sophomore emerged as the team's closer this season, earning first-team All-OAC recognition with an 8-1 record and 5 saves. All 21 of his appearances were in relief, where he posted a 10-1 strikeout-to-walk ratio. That's 40 strikes and 4 walks, and a minuscule 0.44 ERA.
Adrian has their work cut out here. The 1-1 to Resto. He sends that one into shallow center field. And it's dropped by the second baseman, Stotler. First error of the game for Otterbein, and the Bulldogs have their leadoff man aboard.
Not sure if it was the night sky on that pop-up, but Stotler just unable to haul it in. Might have lost it in a light. Nonetheless, Bulldogs now have a runner on first, and it looks like Coach Rainey may bring in a pinch runner for Resto.
And he will indeed. That's number 9, Aaron Arjrouche, coming in to pinch run for the catcher. Reno shows bunt, pulls back. It's ball 1.
Well, Arjrouche over at first base does not have any steal attempts on the year, but certainly possesses more speed than the starting Adrian backstop.
Another bunt attempt, another ball. 2-0 on Jordan Torreno. Another bunt attempt, another pullback. This time it's a strike, and it's 2-1 on the shortstop.
Well, if Torreno can get this bunt down, that'll put a runner on second with only 1 out in the top of the Bulldog order coming up.
Torreno struck out twice tonight, but also has an RBI single to his name. And they're going to call a balk on the pitcher, Hoffman. Arjrouche will head over to second base. You heard it right away from the Adrian dugout. Count is 2 and run on Torreno. Otterbein will look for an explanation here.
Well, looking back at the replay, so we have the feed on a laptop here. The only thing that I can see is he might have flinched when he came set. A lucky break for Adrian, and we'll see if they want to try to bunt him to third.
The 2-1. Torreno taking all the way. 3 balls in, 1 strike. Puts a charge on that one. High fly ball into right field. Stopar will catch it close to the wall. Arjrouche tagging. He'll head to third base. Bulldogs have a man 90 feet away from scoring with 1 out.
That was as good as a bunt. Torreno Deep enough fly ball to the right side of the field. And we'll see if the top of the Adrian lineup can bring their team a little closer to tying things up.
Well, it will start with their leadoff man, Zach Schering. One single to his name so far tonight. We'll watch a first pitch curveball go by for strike number 1. Another off speed, but he can't snap it off. 1-1 now on Schering. Able to snap this one off, and Hoffman has Schering in a hole now. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2, ground ball through the left side hole, a base hit. Arjrusha's gonna score, and the Bulldogs pull within 1. RBI single by the leadoff man, Zach Schering.
Looked like Hoffman tried to go down and away with that 1-2 pitch, but just leaks over the heart of the plate. Schering able to pull it through that left side hole. So the Bach comes back to bite Hoffman early in this inning.
Pitch inside. 1-0 on the left fielder. Tying run on first base now. Pitch from Hoffman. It's a charge into center field, but right at Snyder for out number 2. So up now is the second baseman, Brady Wood. Singled his first time up, also has a ground out, 2 flyouts. So he's 1 for 4 on the night. Pickoff move to first, but Schering back in time. That one finds the knees. Snowballs in, 1 strike. Pitch from Hoffman. That one finds the outer black. Wood quickly in a hole now, 0-2.
The high tension with every pitch. You can hear both sides going quiet. Just waiting to see what happens.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 1 man on. Off for second, the pitch high. That's gonna fall into center field. Throw takes Beachy into Schering, so he will stay put. 1-2 on Wood. Tying run now in scoring position. Hoffman gets the sign from Feltner, the pitch. A little flare sent into right field, down the line, fair for a base hit. Schering's gonna score, the game is tied. And Wood, another 8th inning double. And we are going to start this game brand new.
Well, that's exactly what the Bulldogs needed to do. A lot of fly ball outs, some of them looking like they were going to be gap shots, but the range of the Otterbein outfielders put them away easily. And that time Wood doesn't necessarily hit it hard, but able to hit it in front of the right fielder. And Stopar unable to come in all the way, make the catch, and a break for the Bulldogs. as they knot things up at 5.
Go ahead run now in scoring position. Hunter Hayes up to bat. First pitch from Hoffman, big cut there, 0-1. Here's the offering. Breaking ball in there. Hayes quickly in a hole now. 0-2.
We'll see if Parsons comes back out. Over 100 pitches, but we've seen him go more than that.
Fastball high. 1-2 now on Hunter Hayes. Hayes has only reached base one time tonight. That was his last at bat via the walk. One-two from Hoffman. Ball high, even now at 2 apiece. Brady Wood on second base. Pitch from Hoffman. That one into the gap. That's going to be a base hit. Wood hits the bag at third. Snyder has no play, and the Bulldogs lead 6-5 here in the top of the 8th. The Master Chef gets it done. The tables have suddenly turned on the Cardinals. Still 2 outs. Man on first base, and Dugan Darnell looking to add an insurance run. He takes a fastball outside, 1-0. And the last thing you would have expected to happen to Colin Hoffman.
Just leaves a 2-2 fastball over the heart of the plate. And Hayes just able to rip it over Beachy's head at short. So that's back-to-back hits where the Bulldogs were able to dump it in front of the Otterbein outfielders rather than right to them.
1-1 pitch to Dugan Darnell. Hangs high, 2-1. Well, if he keeps the inning going, that'd bring up the designated hitter, Brian Guck. That one fouled back into the third base side netting. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch from Hoffman. Hayes off for second base. Ground ball. Brett Long throw, but he'll get him at first, but not before the Bulldogs score 3 runs and take a 6-5 lead. We'll see how Otterbein responds. And we'll be right back with more NCAA Game 4 action in the regional tournament here on ACTV. Tommy Parsons back out to work here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-5 Adrian College lead. A first pitch bunt down the third base side, but foul. It's off the bat of the designated hitter, Pat Beer. Quick defensive change for Adrian College. Now catching is Nick Bell. He's in place of Frankie Resto. Parsons looking to keep going and possibly go the distance. He has a 1-run lead intact, and a big swing there by Beer makes it 0-2.
Well, he ran into that 3-run inning back in the 5th, capped by the Barber home run, but since then has not given up a hit. Thompson reached via an error back in the 6th inning, but he's retired 5 straight up to this point, now 6 with his 6th strikeout of the game.
Tosses Beer the chair right there for out number 1. That'll bring up the second baseman, Mitch Stotler. 0 for 3, 2 pop-outs and a ground out.
Parsons now at 123 pitches in this contest.
Another bunt down the third baseline. This one looks like it's going to stay fair, but will roll foul. A little too much backspin on that one. 0-1.
That's 2 straight batters where we've seen them square and bunt it foul down the third base line to start their at-bat. Darnell at third playing even with the bag. We'll see what he does with the next batter. That foul bunt by Stotler probably would have been a base hit if it had stayed fair.
And that fastball just a smidge outside, 1-1. There's a ground ball over to second base. Wood all over it, throwing to first. 2 down now here in the bottom of the 8th. Parsons will now have to face the top of the Otterbein lineup. It's a shortstop, Ben Beachy, up to bat. 2 lineouts, a single. Struck out his last time up, but has put together some quality at-bats to start the tournament.
And if you looked at Parsons on his way back to the mound, gesturing to Darnell at third, telling him not to get too far back in case they try to lay down a bunt again.
Instead, it's a line drive into left field. That's going to fall in front of Rainey, and nice hop to keep it in front of him. Beachy held to a single, but the bounce house almost strikes in favor of the Cardinals.
And to get up to the peak of his jump to keep that one from going to the wall. And a nice job by Beachy attacking that first pitch fastball and just roping it into left field. And we'll see now if Otterbein can put together a little 2-out rally.
Well, it's the left fielder, Tyler Thompson, up to bat. Has 1 run scored in this game, 2 singles, one of them an infield. And time is called. The first pitch, just below the knees for ball 1. Parsons up to 127 pitches. 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, has given up 4 earned runs. The 1-0 pitch to Thompson, a big cut there, 1 ball, 1 strike. Just like you couldn't count the Bulldogs out, do not count Otterbein out. They are here for a reason, and they have shown that they can grind out at bats.
With the heart of their order coming up as well, it's going to be a tall task for Parsons. Should he come back in the 9th if he's able to get Thompson out here to end the 8th.
That one fouled into the parking lot. 1 and 2 now on Tyler Thompson. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Snap move to first, but back in time. Well, should Thompson keep this inning going, that'd bring up the right fielder Brian Stopar. 1 for 4 in the game so far. Another snap throw, got him frozen, and he picks him off of first. Stutter step by Ben Beachy, and it cost him and the Cardinals. We head to the top of the 9th inning, 6-5 Bulldogs. Keep it here on ACTV. Top of the 9th inning, 6-5, Adrian College lead over the Otterbein Cardinals. And now pinch hitting for the Bulldogs. It's Chad Paddock in place of Brian Guck. Big pickoff to end the inning. Parson nabs Beachy for his first pickoff of the game, and as we said earlier, he averages about 1 a game.
And it usually is the second or third straight move where he gets some. As Beachy did not expect him to come back over. And like you said, back in the bottom of the 8th inning, a little stutter step is what ended up getting him.
Fastball from Hoffman inside, 2-0 now on Paddock.
Well, Paddock got the majority of the starts earlier in the season, has not seen too much action as of late, but is batting .295 on the year with 25 runs batted in and 18 runs scored.
He's up in the count right now, 3-0 is Colin Hoffman. Not the way he wanted his night to go. Gave up 3 runs in the 8th inning to give the Bulldogs a lead. Now just trying to keep the Cardinals within striking distance, 6-5. First strike of the at-bat. It's 3-1 on Paddock. Richardson and Nick Bell due up next as he can't find the strike zone on that one. Paddock is aboard with a leadoff walk. We're going to have a pinch runner for Paddock, number 13, Pierce Banks, the number 3 starter for Adrian. Will now test his track legs. Takes his place at first base.
Robbie, I don't think we've seen Pierce run the bases yet.
At least not this season.
The Bulldogs' number 2 starter, like you said, Robbie, was quite the hitter, I understand, back in high school.
And Richardson puts a bunt down the third base side. Banks off to second. Nobody's going to be able to get an out there. It's a bunt single for Tristan Richardson. Men on first and second with nobody out.
Where Otterbein was not able to get a break, the Bulldogs do. The Cardinals trying to see if that bunt by Richardson would go foul, but it does not. So instead of just a runner on second, or excuse me, Richardson still at the plate in that case, they now have runners on first and second and still no outs.
So up to bat now is the backup catcher, Nick Bell, seeing his first action of the playoffs. First pitch shows bunt, but it's a fastball high, 1-0.
Banks getting some coaching from Craig Rainey and the type of lead he should be getting over at second base.
Bulldogs would love to get a couple of insurance runs right here. Barber playing a few steps in on the grass. Pickoff move to second. Banks back in time. Bit of an awkward slide. Let's hope he doesn't hurt himself out there.
No matter what happens in this game, it is most likely that Adrian will go to Banks for the start tomorrow. One
1-0 on the catcher, Nick Bell. Another pickoff move behind. And they're going to call a balk again on Hoffman. Richardson and Banks will move up, and the Bulldogs 2 in scoring position, nobody out. And it looks like Colin Hoffman's night might be done. But first, Otterbein would like an explanation on the balk.
Yeah, we'll try to look here at the replay that we have. I'm not sure if they're calling it that he didn't step off the rubber the way he was supposed to. But either way, Hoffman's situation that he has to work out of just got a lot tougher.
Coach Powell will not win his argument there, but he'll have a quick word with home plate umpire David Kernan before he heads back to the dugout. Hoffman stays in the game. Pierce Banks on third base. Tristan Richardson on second. 6-5 ball game here in the top of the ninth. Nick Bell up in the count, 1-0.
Bell has 1 hit in 7 at-bats on the year. That hit was a double. He's also driven in 1 run.
The pitch is a fastball. It's the outer part of the plate, 1-1. Pitch from Hoffman, ground ball over to the left side. Sliding stop by Beachy, he'll throw into first. And Barber cannot handle the play. Everybody's safe. And the Bulldogs 4 waffles in the 3-way toaster. Bases are loaded. And it's the shortstop Jordan Torreno who looks to be the master chef and give the Bulldogs their first continental breakfast of the playoffs. Hoffman looking to get out of this pickle. Curveball hangs high, it's 1-0.
All 4 infielders drawn in. They will be trying to cut the run off at the plate and try to keep it a 1-run game.
Torreno fouls that one straight back, 1-1. He has 2 strikeouts tonight, 1 swinging, 1 looking. Flew out his last time up, but in the 4th inning had an RBI single. Pitch from Colin Hoffman just outside the strike zone. It's 2 balls and 1 strike on Torreno. What's even worse for Otterbein is that unless they get a triple play here, they'll have to face the top of the Bulldog lineup once again. Fastball at the shins, 3-1 now on Torrento. And Hoffman in danger of walking in another run. Adrian Bulldog dugout absolutely fired up. The 3-1 pitch, big cut there. Hoffman battles back to make it full 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes, no outs. The pitch, high chopper into the glove of the first baseman. He'll throw high, and Banks is gonna be safe. Barber's throw took Feltner off the bag. Everybody safe, 7-5 Bulldogs. And once again, Coach Powell gonna come out to have a discussion with the umpires. Barber got it on the hop, rushed the throw a little bit with the speed by Banks.
And when the catcher Feltman was up in the air, Banks actually slid into his foot. Looked like it possibly prevented him from landing on the bag and getting the force.
They'll rule it an error on Barber. Third of the day for Otterbein. Bases still loaded for the Bulldogs. And Colin Hoffman's day is done. They'll head to the bullpen. We'll find out who this mystery man is, give him some warm-up pitches, and see if he can get Otterbein out of this bases loaded, no out jam. But before we go to a quick break, we'd like to give a quick shout out to ACTV employee Nick Rizzo, watching all the way from Arizona. We're glad you're able to tune in. Looking forward to having you back on the staff for next year. And we need you to get a haircut. If you're still watching, make sure you get the haircut. That is the most important part of this for Otterbein fans out there. Nick Rizzo, little baseball blood in him. His first cousin is actually Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo, but Nick does not know a single thing about baseball. But nonetheless, we appreciate him on the staff. We'll be right back here in Game 4 of the NCAA tournament on ACTV. Welcome back to game number 4, top of the 9th inning. Bulldogs, a 7-5 lead over Otterbein. Bases loaded, nobody out. And now pitching for the Cardinals, number 6, Sam Harden. He has quite the task to face. First pitch curveball in the dirt, ball 1 to the leadoff man and center fielder Zach Schering. Still 4 waffles in the 3-way toaster. And Schering looking to make that continental breakfast and be the master chef for the Bulldogs. That one to the wall. Richardson breaks for home. Close play, but he's going to be safe. And the Bulldogs now lead 8-5. 2 men still in scoring position, still nobody out. In a 2-0 count on Zach Schering.
It seems like everything that could go wrong for Otterbein in this inning has gone wrong. Started with a leadoff walk. There's been a balk, a couple errors, a wild pitch. What looked like a double play ended up scoring a run. And that was all against their closer who had been so effective this year.
3-0 on Zach Schering. The pitch in the turf. And once again, 4 waffles in the 3-way toaster. That's left fielder Gunnar Rainey looking to make the continental breakfast. Still nobody out for Otterbein. This game in danger of quickly getting out of hand for the Cardinals.
But you still can't count them out. They looked like they were about to cruise to a victory, sending their closer to the mound in Hoffman. And the Bulldogs so far have scored 5 runs in their last 2 at-bats.
It will be very interesting to see how the rest of this game plays out. Quick mound visit as Hardin having trouble not only finding the strike zone, but he's spiking a lot of his pitches.
Feltner's done a great job, but there's only so much he can do back there. Otterbein has more arms warming up in the bullpen, but they would definitely like to see Hardin end this inning with minimal damage.
The ball outside, 2-0 on Gunnar Rainey. Another one. This one's going to get to the backstop. Bell's going to hold up. 3-0.
That is now 7 straight to start his outing. And Powell is going to the mound. And it looks like Coach Powell is going to the bullpen. So 7 balls. He leaves with a 3-0 count. And Otterbein still struggling, and they'll look to get out of this inning.
6th pitcher today for the Cardinals. So we'll give this mystery man a chance to warm up, find out who he is, where he's from, and if he can get Otterbein out of this jam. We'll be right back to NCAA Tournament Baseball here on ACTV. This game has officially passed into the 3-hour mark. 8-5 Bulldog lead here in the top of the ninth. This game quickly getting out of hand. Bases loaded, nobody out. 3-0 count on the number 2 hitter, Gunnar Rainey. And now pitching is number 18, Connor Crotty, sophomore right-handed pitcher out of St. DeSales High School. Manages to get a strike on the outer black, 3-1. Rainey thought he had ball 4, but he'll be called back in. Crotty, quite a tall order to fill. The 3-1 in the turf, ball 4. Another run will come in. 9-5 Bulldogs. Still 4 waffles in the 3-way toaster. It will now be the second baseman, Brady Wood, who looks to make a continental breakfast. This task just got even harder. Heart of the order due up for Adrian. That first pitch to Wood, just below the knees, 1-0.
Well, Wood doubled back in the 8th inning to tie the game. Eventually scored the go-ahead run.
It's a high chopper down the third base side, but foul. 1-1 now on Wood.
Well, Crotty comes into this outing with 16 innings of work, and in that time he struck out 12 batters, walked 8, and gave up 10 earned runs for a 5.06 ERA.
Crotty will step off and reset. They'll call Feltner out to the mound. First baseman Hunter Hayes lurking on deck. 13 hits for the Bulldogs now. 9 for Otterbein. Both teams with 3 errors to their names.
Not necessarily the best played game by either side, but definitely and perhaps the most entertaining that we've seen so far in this opening day.
Another breaking ball from Crotty, misses, 2-1. But really all 4 games have been very entertaining. First 2 separated by a matter of runs. Game 3 was a 5-1 game, but still Ithaca threatened many times to take the lead. 3-1 count on Brady Wood. The offering from Crotty. It's that one right back up the box. That's a base hit. Going to score at least run. Here comes Sharing from second. And it's a 2 RBI single for Brady Wood. 11-5 Bulldogs.
They knew that Crotty was going to have to come to him with a 3-1 count, just sitting on that fastball middle. Doesn't try to do too much with it. Just puts it right back up the box. The Bulldogs now lead by 6.
They've tacked on 5 this inning, 3 in the previous. That's first baseman Hunter Hayes up to bat. First pitch picked in the turf by Feltman. 1 ball and no strikes. Hayes with the RBI single to give Adrian the lead his last time up. Pitch from Crotty in the turf again. Feltman thought about back picking to second, but he'll hold on. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball just high in the strike zone. And it is 3-0 on Hunter Hayes. From Crotty. Puts a charge into that one. Deep into center field. Snyder going to the track. He'll drop to a knee to make the catch. Rainey tags from second. There are now runners in the corners with only one out.
Well, off the bat, I thought that was going to be at least extra bases. But if you look out at the flags over in right field, that wind blowing straight in. And the center fielder, Snyder, had to drop to a knee to catch it. That's how much the wind killed the flight of that ball.
So it's the third baseman, Dugan Darnell, up to bat now. Scored the first run of the ball game. He watches a strike on the outer half of the plate, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 from Crotty. Fastball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. "14 hits for the Bulldogs." There's on first and third. Crotty will reset.
Justin McMahon on deck for Adrian. With the designated hitter spot due up, pitcher Pierce Banks ran for Chad Paddock, who started this inning with a walk.
McMahon started the year at second base. Later moved to a bench position, but definitely has power coming off of the Adrian College bench. 1-2 to Darnell, able to hold up on that one. Counts even at 2. Connor Crotty trying to slow the tempo back into the Otterbein's favor. The 2-2. This one hits him right in the back. And once again, 4 waffles in the 3-way toaster. Justin McMahon with a chance to make the continental breakfast. But it looks like we will have another pitching change for the Cardinals. And Crotty's day is done. We'll head back to the Otterbein bullpen. It's number 24, Eric Norton, will be coming in to pitch. We'll give him a chance to get some warm-up throws in, and we'll be right back with NCAA Tournament Baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back. Top of the 9th inning, 11-5 Bulldog lead. 1 out, 4 waffles in the 3-way toaster, 4 ducks on the pond, 4 sailboats in the bay. Either way you spin it, Adrian threatening once again. The first pitch ball from the new reliever, Eric Norton. McMahon with his first at-bat of the playoffs. He holds up on that fastball low. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, Norton comes into the contest with 14 1/3 innings of work. He owns a 3.77 ERA, 13 appearances. He has 10 strikeouts to 2 walks.
Take a strike at the knees, 2-1 now. Gunnar Rainey on third base, Brady Wood at second, Dugan Darnell on first after the hit by pitch. McMahon fouls that one back towards 223. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Pitch from Norton. It's that ground ball to the second baseman, Stotler. He'll take the second for 1. Relay out. Bang, bang play, but Otterbein escapes the inning, but not before surrendering 5 more runs. 11-5 Adrian College lead. And last chance now for the Cardinals as we head to the bottom half of the 9th. And it's the master carpenter, Tommy Parsons, taking the mound. We'll be right back as he gets some warm-up throws in, and we can see if he can get the complete game in here. Game number 4. We'll be right back here on ACTV. Time to pay the piper if you're Otterbein. 2-3-4 due up. And Tommy Parsons looking for the complete game. He leads 11-5. And it's the left fielder, Tyler Thompson, set to lead things off. Fastball high for ball 1. Thompson was batting, and Parsons was able to pick the shortstop, Ben Beachy, off of first. A huge out, number 3. That one fouled straight back. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, since that 3-run 5th inning, Parsons has retired 9 of the last 10 batters.
He looks to keep rolling here. Is Thompson not able to check his swing, and it's 1-2. Pitch from Parsons. Gets a piece of that, and Thompson stays alive. Count remains the same. Just misses with that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 from Tommy Parsons. Another foul ball, and Thompson putting up a fight. Like we said, these Otterbein Cardinals, do not count them out. Down 6 runs. They definitely have the capabilities of erasing that lead in a hurry. Fastball outside, and Thompson works the count full. It's 3-2.
Thompson not going to the curveball. Once you got 2 strikes on Thompson, we'll see if he wants to go with that or try to come back with the fastball here in a 3-ball count.
We'll see what he does. The pitch from Parsons fouled out of play back towards the parking lot. Still 3-2.
Well, from our vantage point up here in the press box, we can't see the visitors' bullpen. But what do you think, Robbie? Do you think Coach Rainey has anybody warming up back there? Or do you think this is Parsons' game?
I think he has a couple people standing out there from what I can see as Wood gets the ground ball for out number 1. I don't see any heads over that mesh fence right next to the foul pole, but I do see 2 bodies out there. So I'd say they're on ice, but they're not on the grill yet.
That's one way to put it.
Up now for Otterbein, it's the right fielder, Ryan Stopar. A big cut there, but can't connect with the fastball. 0-1.
Robbie here has been a trooper doing all 4 games today, the play-by-play man.
Soft tap over to first base. Hayes will get it on the hop. Time to pay the piper if you're Otterbein, down to your final out. It's the first baseman, Luke Barber, up to bat. Had that big 2-run homer. So it was a single, 2 runs scored, and if anybody's going to change the tide, it's going to be him. It's a high fly ball into center field, right to Zach Schering. And the Bulldogs complete the comeback. They take it by a score of 11-5. They trailed into the 8th inning. And they are headed to the winner's bracket, and Otterbein, after a gutsy performance, will have to take on Ithaca tomorrow at 1:15. After 4 games in the opening round of this tournament, Cody, what did you see not only from this game, but moving forward into Friday?
I mean, it's going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. 3 errors on the board for both Otterbein and Adrian, but it ultimately came down to the Otterbein bullpen. A couple miscues in the field did not help them, a couple boxed by their closer Hoffman, but then they just couldn't find the strike zone. Walks basically killed them, made that 6-run deficit. Bulldogs definitely a gutsy performance, but both teams are going to have to clean up their defensive play.
The master carpenter, Tommy Parsons, goes the distance. Unbelievable pitching performance. And Adrian, again, they are headed to the winner's brackets now for tomorrow's games. The 10 a.m. game, that will be an elimination game between Marietta and Wabash. At 1:15, that's another elimination game between Ithaca and Otterbein. And for the 2 winners brackets, at 4:30, it will be Shenandoah against Worcester. And once again in the 7:45 slot, Adrian taking on LaRoche this time. Both these teams have played each other earlier in the year. LaRoche took that one, so we'll see how it pans out. But once again, Adrian Bulldogs with the comeback win, 11-5. Once again, thank you for joining us today. Day number 1 in the, almost said NIAA, in the NCAA Regional Tournament. This has been Robbie Alexander with my colleague Cody Alexander. Again, we really appreciate everybody tuning in. If you have any constructive criticism or just things you like about the broadcast, don't be afraid to commentate. Send some comments on the Facebook feed. We love to see.
If you haven't been able to tell, Robbie's 4 games behind the mic is definitely starting to wear on him. It is past his bedtime.
I'll bounce back tomorrow. But like I said, don't be afraid to commentate on the YouTube feed because we love interaction on here. Once again, thank you for tuning in to day number 1. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. This has been Robbie Alexander with my colleague Cody Alexander. Make sure you always keep it tuned to ACTV.